hidden from this vast crowd at Wembley Stadium, Bobby Charlton, England's captain for the night, playing in his 100th international for his country, waits to make his sentimental journey across the Wembley Stadium. A stadium he's graced so often with distinction for his club Manchester United in the FA Cup and the European Cup final, that he's played so well in international matches so often for England. And just listen to the crowd as Charlton leads out England. Surely no individual player has ever received such a reception at the National Stadium. Bobby Charlton being presented with a special plaque to mark his 100th appearance by the President of the Football Association, or the Chairman of the Football Association, Dr. Stephen of Sheffield Wednesday. The Secretary of the Football Association joins in the congratulations.
He didn't know anything at all about it until it happened just now. And incidentally, at 9
Bobby Charlton. Peters, and it's there. Geoff Hurst didn't touch it, the goal scorer was Martin Peters. Peters totally unmarked, and you've got to ask questions there about the Irish defence. So England in the lead through Martin Peters after 5.5 minutes. Okay, Charlton again. This is Clements. Best just with stars between him and the goal, and he's got a clear chance, and that's running. And England with no cover at all, but what a goal by Best. He drilled it in the narrowest space. And that's the kind of goal that Best wanted to put himself back. Been in poor form with Manchester United, and really you can't blame Banks there. It didn't leave him much space. And the trouble was in front of Banks. One each then. Peters to Charlton. Newton linking. Hurst! Well, that always spelled trouble. And looked to me as if it might have been deflected. Geoff Hurst certainly was the one who powered it, but Brian Kidd might have just got a touch. Certainly the ball seemed to deviate in flight, but whether it was Hurst who got it all the way or Kidd who got the final touch, it's 2-1 to England. Mallory. This is Hughes. And Charlton gets the goal. And just look at this crowd and the England players. All the England players coming up to congratulate Charlton. And there's hardly a man in the crowd sitting down. A goal beautifully manufactured by Emlyn Hughes, who on this occasion settled for going outside and used his left foot.
the teams now just coming up this tunnel into the thin sunlight that is Wembley this afternoon. That's a long, long tunnel. But now they're coming out into the view of the crowd. Bobby Moncur on the left leading out Scotland, and Bobby Moore leading out his English side. Well, the banners for the moment are pretty well hidden, but they'll be out again, I'm sure. The England side, Chris Lawler coming in at number 2. It was a question of Madeley or Lawler, and it's Lawler who's got the number 2 place. It was also a question of whether Francis Lee would have recovered from an injury, and he's fit as well. The Scottish side, a much more adventurous looking side, a much better balanced looking side than lost at home to Northern Ireland in Hampden Park on Tuesday night. With a lot of experience there, particularly in defence, and a lot of inspiration as well. And the sheer inspiration, I suppose, they're looking for from Jimmy Johnston. Maybe Chivers is too close to him. Curran getting up well. Now Moore. Oh, Cormac. There's Moore delayed. Cormac again wasn't giving him time. As a cross going under Banks' crossbar. Gathered as safely as ever, though, by Gordon Banks from the challenge by Curran. And what a good throw by Banks, straight to Alan Ball. Lee wanting it fast down the right, and Lee's got it there too. Hurst is waiting in the middle, and Brogan covering well for Scotland. So England's corner, it'll be Ball to take it. Chivers has gone into the 6-yard area. Hurst is there too, Peters, and Lawler, who scored nearly 50 games in first-team football, was getting there as well. And Peters! Oh, was it there? Yes, it's given! Martin Peters gets that one! And England go ahead after 9.5 minutes. Clark is furious. Peters is delighted. But now Johnston, they look more and more now to this Louis man. John Gregg going up on the outside. Jimmy Johnston. And Ball putting it back there. Curran with a chance, and Curran has equalised. The back pass that wasn't a good one, and it came from Alan Ball. And Curran there in the mix-up with Banks, making it 1-1. 2 goals now in the first 11 minutes.
Well, in fact, it was Jimmy Johnson here who tried that ball through, which brought about the trouble, and there was Ball's pass back. Now look as Banks comes and misses the ball. He went straight for Curran's feet. Curran didn't touch it, so it was an own goal from Alan Ball.
Hurst and Peters are also on that far side making a move. Hurst has come towards the near post. They're same towards Peters and Chivers. Rob. Now Ball looking to get on that one. That fell nicely for Ball. What a nice little pass there for Lee. Can he belt this one? Still Lee going on. They're lining up for it, and Clark tipping that over. That was a fine piece of goalkeeping. Lee, who worked superbly, and I think wanted to put the killer punch in, but Hurst got a foot there first, and Clark got the arm that punched it over. So Ball with the corner. Chivers trying to go by the near post, and Scotland were in trouble again there. And I think that might well be another corner. Indeed it is. Linesman in a bit of doubt, but the referee said that was another corner, and so Ball now to take another corner, aiming towards Chivers once more, no doubt. There's Chivers going from the near post, and Clark getting that in his arms. He wasn't exactly helped by Gregg. And now it's Bremner for Scotland. Oh, an odd ball there by Bremner, going right across that line of Scottish defenders, but also perilously close to 1 or 2 English attackers. Now Lee laying it off for Hurst, and now for Ball. Hurst again, trying one on the turn, and Clark stretching out and grabbing that one as England begin to move a little more smoothly. Cooper free on his left. There's the ball aimed towards Cooper, but in fact hitting Johnston on the way. And so now it's Davy Robb. Ball shaken off that ball by Lee, And Brogan now putting it for Chivers to hammer it, and there it is! Martin Chivers! A mistake in that Scottish defence by two players, Rob in the first place and by Brogan in the second, and Chivers making no mistake with the chance that came his way.
Well, in fact, it was Francis Lee here who won that. He doesn't fancy that tackle and keeps out. But in the end, he gets the break. And Martin Chivers in that position, look where the shot's from, and look at the accuracy and power. That's why Chivers is in the class that he is.
Peters, Greg, Bremner, and now Lawler. Oh, Chivers are going on this one. There was a deflection which wasn't very lucky, and there it is, Martin Chivers, another one. With Clark absolutely stranded the goalkeeper, and that's his fury, and that's again the English delight.
It shows the pace of Martin Peters. You see how much he has to make up there. Martin Chivers, there he is, look at him racing for it. Goalkeeper slightly out of his goal, and it was just the space he wanted to get it there. He's a sprinter, he's one of the fastest men in the game, and it did stand him in good stead there.
Lawler. This one's for Cooper. And Lee would get in on this one, but Moncur there, Peters! Which in fact would have been so reminiscent of the first goal that he scored in the World Cup final, into that very goal when there was a deflection out of a German defence that time and Peters falling in on it. But in fact he didn't make very much of that half-headed clearance from Moncur. Flicked in towards Chivers. Beaten off Munro, now it's with Ball. Story played first time across the field where there were two England players waiting, and this Martin Peters who's got it, and Terry Cooper now over on the left. Cross towards Hurst, flicked on, Chivers, the hat-trick! No, disallowed! Offside, says the linesman on the far side.
Well, we can look at it now and see what we think, whether that was offside. Certainly the near defender was at fault. You can see that Chivers is at least level when that ball was flicked there by Jeff Hurst. It would have been his hat-trick, but I think the linesman was absolutely right to disallow it.
Moore. Chivers away for this one, but Moncur's gone with him. Now has Chivers the strength and the skill to fight off Moncur? Well, at least he's got the skill to find Martin Peters. Peters trying to turn it through for Clark. Now can Clark turn that one in? Down he goes. Peters to turn it across again. Ball, he cannot fail, but he has. How did he miss that one? He doesn't know, and Clark had a beautiful chance before it. And Moore. Cooper. Chivers again going for it, beaten by Munro in the air. Clark now can turn it off for Peters to hammer it just wide. Oh, another fine English move, and Peters no more than 3 or 4 inches wide, with a really glorious drive and a fine, subtle build-up.
Well, let's go straight away to Malcolm Allison, who predicted Martin Chivers the man of the match. Do you think he was the man of the match?
He had a brilliant first half, Jim, and he still caused a lot of trouble in the second half. I think possibly he must be the man of the match with that tremendous goal he scored with his left foot.
What about the general performance of the England team? Would you say that was an improvement on what we've seen recently?
I thought it was an excellent performance. I thought they completely outclassed the Scottish team, and after about 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour of the second half, Scotland were never in it with a chance.
Paddy Quirren, your side, you've still got their banner on for Scotland. Malcolm says they're outclassed, and you have said 1 or 2 gentle criticisms of Scotland. What do you think about today?
I don't there was no change from the other night. No organisation or anything. Still the same old shambles. They played with a bit of spirit and a bit of heart for the first 5 or 10 minutes. When they got the goal, they were still in the game. But after that, it was like men playing with boys, it was.
Bob McNabb, the Arsenal side is one that's renowned for its method. What about the method that's in the Scottish team? Do you think that can stand up?
In it? There isn't any, is there, really? We certainly didn't see any at the back today. I felt the England players, very intelligent runners, the England front 3,
yeah.
Franny Lee, Chivers and Jeff Hurst, are very intelligent players, will pull you to pieces if you follow them, and you're not intelligent if you haven't got a system to play against them. And they played 2 wing halves. The Scottish fullbacks were in fact wing halves, and it showed today. They just didn't you know, is a criticism because they were played out of
In fact,
position?
I think it's fair to say from the whole championships that the Welsh and the Irish organised themselves much better playing against the strength of England.
I would think so, yes. They certainly didn't pull, England didn't pull the other two teams apart like they did today.
But you know, Jim, that's a crying shame about the home internationals. I think individually, probably Scotland have got the best players of the 4 home countries. But organised, and their whole setup is worse. You know, out of the 4 teams, I would say they're the worst of the 4 teams.
And here they come. Let's catch up on the 2 teams. As we said just a few minutes ago, England unchanged. That's the team that beat Wales handsomely by 3-0. Scotland badly hit by injuries. Now bring in Hunter, Jardine and Lorimer, and have Bremner and Macari, who were substitutes on Wednesday, starting at the first whistle today. Shannon, one of the famous C's in that England striking trio. Martin Chivers is another one. And number 10, Alan Clark, is the third. Played nicely there for Bell, who was right up there. Peters too right in there, but now it falls for Macari. On the far side is Lorimer, in a lot of space now for Scotland. The man with the cannonball shot, and a great save by Shilton. Well, that was an extraordinary break there by Scotland, and it looked odds on. Although Shilton is applauding, England, I'm sure, would be applauding him.
I was surprised here that he took it with the side of his foot, which gave Shilton the chance to read it. He should have hit it with his instep. He tried to be careful and couldn't.
And the crowd are beginning to rise to them as well, all their supporters. Infringement there by Macari, giving England the free kick. Shannon. Ball, nicely played sideways to Story. Back in again there, this time to Martin Chivers. Played for ball again, and Clark, can he get through? Clark, is he through? No, the linesman on the far side is flagging. And as Clark went through, he obviously must have been in an offside position. So no goal for England. Now it's with Alan Ball. Good ball there from him. Oh, and a nice backheel now, Clark. No, it is wide. Beautiful combination by England with Shannon and Clark combining superbly, and Clark missing a good chance.
It's a first-class through ball here from Ball. Really caught them out. A lovely backheel, and Clark takes just a little time, and in the end he's hurried there to screw his shot past the post. A lovely bit of combination there.
Story, Ball v Bremner, quite a collision between those little men in the middle of the field, and the Scot won it. And Moore going in very hard indeed on Lorimer. So uncharacteristic of Bobby Moore, and being told to calm it by the referee.
In the end, of course, Bobby Moore found himself not being able to get through to the ball. It was on the other side, and he found himself struggling, tried to get that right foot through for the ball, and brought Lorimer down in one great heat.
Now it's with Ball. Bell. Story. Clark played on nicely for Colin Bell. And Bell surely pushed off that by number 8, Macari. Free kick. Alan Ball to take it for England. And Bremner standing, I would have thought, 3 yards off the ball, but he's got to be 10. Being told to go back by the referee. The referee really has got to take a firm hand on this particular situation, and he's reached for a moment into his back pocket. He must make sure that defending Wolves are back 10 yards. There's Ball with the kick, and Chivers! Oh, and a magnificent save by Alistair Hunter. He'd never seen Wembley before until today.
Free kick. There it is, coming in. Chivers rises, meets it well. He's going to his right, checks, up he goes with 2 hands and pushes over the top.
So Holton watching Chivers there, really quite a physical tussle there, pushing and shoving all the time. Ball now with this one, and on the far side, Martin Peters! Yes! That's for England! And Peters, who's had such a poor game so far, steals in as he does so often, and that's 1-0 for England.
Typical Spurs dead ball movement in a way, except it's Alan Ball hitting it. You can see how Chivers takes the man out of the way on the dummy. Peters comes in on the far post, completely lost, and makes no mistake from there. Whatever he does in the rest of the game, when he gets around the goal, Peters is devastating.
So now Ball, played along the touchline for Shannon. Delicate cross there, but Bell couldn't get to it because Johnson was there. Chivers hitting it first time! And Hunter got well behind that beautifully struck ball from Chivers.
That is the shot of a class player. As it dropped on the volley, and also it's the save of a very promising goalkeeper. He held on to that beautifully.
Johnston pushing at Shannon. It seems to me that we're getting an infringement now just about every 20 seconds. The game, at the moment, having no chance to get into a flowing rhythm. Story's long cross. Peters heading it down. And a free kick. This time to Scotland. Bremner going down, put there by Hughes, and Bremner going after Emlyn Hughes as well.
Willie Morgan did so well there to stop him, because I think Billy Bremner was going to lose his head at that moment. There's no doubt about it, was a late tackle. Billy Bremner laid it off well. Hughes came right the way through, and we've seen so many of those tackles really today, where the player goes knowing that he's either going to get the ball or he's going to carry on and get the man.
Hay is going to take it. Hit towards Colin Steed. Moore lost that one in the air, and McFarlane lost it on the ground. Bremner with a shot. Chasing after it again, and Scotland get the corner, and that really is the sign now for the blue shirts to come forward. Only 2 are left behind as Bremner takes the corner again for Scotland. It's one they had to win, and it's a tremendous shot there by Dalglish against the English post. What a tremendous let-off, and now Ball taking it up for England, and away goes Shannon, but he's offside.
Well, that was the save of a world-class goalkeeper, and also a brilliant volley there with the left foot. Look, he's leading the wrong way. He goes up with that right hand there and just gets it away. That's a wonderful sign for England's World Cup chances, to see a goalkeeper replacing Banks with that ability. Well, the arguments are still going about that match. It deteriorated a little bit at the end. A good first half, a win for England. That makes most of the panel right. And Paddy Creeran very disappointed. Paddy, what about it?
I'm not as disappointed as all that much. We lost 1-0, but I thought we played magnificently. We gave a bit of stick to Derek Johnson the other night. I thought he had a magnificent game alongside Jim Holton.
What's this week, Fred? I thought you were an Englishman.
Magnificent.
Yeah. What other performances stood out for Scotland?
Hay, David Hay.
Yeah.
Billy Bremner.
Works hard.
But the greatest performance in the world today was from the goalkeeper.
Yes.
England goalkeeper. What a performance.
Marvellous.
100 out of 100 he gets.
He made two brilliant saves, and his all-round confidence was absolutely perfect.
But this what makes the game the most fantastic game in the world, football. Everyone was saying that England are going to do this, that and the other thing in next year, and suddenly we come down to square one again. I felt the game was won and lost really from Scotland's point of view. The first couple of minutes when Peter Lorimer really should have blasted that one in the...
I think
England's attitude was much better the second half.
I think that's the second time probably the likes of us have come on television and said about a certain team that they've got no chance of winning. And I think they get the needle with us probably more than anything else. And
Paddy,
it raises their game.
You're always going to give Scotland a chance of winning at Wembley. They're playing a home match.
With the supporters,
90% Scotland supporters there. They're playing a home match. If they can't be lifted for this game, they're never going to be lifted for a game. This is what the Hobart and Lasham Champs about this
really
game.
and truly, Jack. I mean, they never looked like. I mean, it was a great shot from Dalglish and a good shot from Lorimer early on, but outside that, they never really looked like creating anything.
Did England look like scoring? No, Martin Peters, nobody saw him. Nobody saw him, and he gets one touch.
How many times
if you didn't see him in the game, let's have a look at him now. Scoring that goal, because the match was decided on one goal scored by Martin Peters, a player they call the Ghost. He comes in from nowhere and gets the kind of devastating goals. It was a dead ball movement, yet another goal scored when the game is being restarted. You can see Chivers comes on the dummy run there, which really made it, and leaving Peters all that space. I think we can look at it once more, really, in slow motion and see the run of Martin Peters, taking Jim Holton with him, which makes the space. There he is. You can see the tussle going on. There was a push, in fact, by a forward, but he's determined to take Holton away, maybe get the ball himself, and there's the gap. The tall players up front are marked, but Peters has stolen in there from midfield, and from then on, he shouldn't really miss from that.
I don't think Jim Holton is too close with the right back in that situation, but I think he let him run a bit free there.
Well, I don't think it is.
Peters has scored goals in this position so many times, it's untrue.
I think that was probably England's best part of the game today, was the set pieces, and you saw the first half where Alan Ball clipped one to the near post and Martin Chivers got a touch to it again. That was a hell of a good save from Alistair Hunter, who actually played very, very well indeed today.
Yes, he did.
Tony Curry, wearing the number 7. Knocked out well by Stark, only as far as Bell. Now Clark. Good wide ball from McFarlane, who's still up there in attack. Now it's Bell, trying it. First save then by Concilia. Sara, the captain. Far side, Cruz. Wide ball easily taken out by Tony Curry. A ball to race onto by McCann. The attack still building. Alan Clark. Far post. Well, the far post ball seemed to be going for Cannon, but Big Chivers came in and tried the header. Chivers, Sara comes to him. Hunter, Chivers. Oh, good dummy then by Shannon. Clark fetching it long here for Peters. Brought it down neatly. Chivers the challenge. And it's in the back of the net. Well, it could have been Chivers. It could have been Shannon. On the other hand, it's more likely that Hattenberger got the last touch. Perhaps we'll see more clearly here in the replay. Peters, the cross ball. Chivers challenges against the goalkeeper, who seemed to hesitate, and the ball goes in, off. I think it's got to be Shannon. Only as far as Bell. Curry. Far post is Clark. Oh, neatly done. That will do indeed. Alan Clark. It's 2-0, and to relive the moment, there's Curry's ball. Defence was leaving Clark much too much room. Sara was hanging back off him. Beautiful close control though, and that shot across the face of the goalkeeper. Hunter, plenty of room to move forward. Oh, well brought in by Bell. Clark, and again, he got it the second time. Alan Clark gets his second goal of the afternoon, of the evening rather. It's 3-0 England, and watch the way that Bell does so magnificently off balance to get this ball in. And Clark given 2 strikes at the cherry. There's one, and that one he says thank you. A right hook and a left hook he scores with. 3-0 England. The substitute is Gombesh. He's on for number 6, Hattenberger. Emlyn Hughes on the attack for England. Alan Clark again. Has it come for Clark's shot? And he got it, and he has! Did he get his hat-trick? The ball is in there now anyway from Shannon. It's 4-0. 4-0. Shannon finishes it off. But for a moment, we wondered whether Alan Clark had got his hat-trick. Now let's see if that ball does go over the line. It drops down, Concilia fumbles it. Did it go over the line? I think that did. That's one that you've got to argue about afterwards, but there's no doubt that Shannon finished that move off all right. Austria dozing off for a moment. Shannon, like handball by Agustilla, but allowed to play on, so it's Alan Clark for England. Beautiful ball for Peters, and again, that was Krieger putting it behind for a corner, and again the goalkeeper, Concilia, losing track on the ball. Here's how Peters very nearly just sort of toe-poked a little goal then. Skidding greasy ball away from him. Here's the corner from Emily Hughes, though. Colin Bell. Curry. Shivers. McFarlane losing his feet when he needed them most then. Etmar flicking it on, and Starek didn't chase on. Hunter. Emlyn Hughes. Clark is wide to his left. Everybody wants to score. Eagerness of England now. That's Curry going for that ball from Hunter. And that's number 5 from Martin Chivers. 15 minutes into the second half. Big Chiv gets his first goal of the evening. That ball from Emlyn Hughes, skidding away over the far side. Here's the pass that set it up. Hunter for Curry in behind them. Chivers starts his run now, and that's an easy scoring chance. Etmar in trouble. Eigenstieler. Cruz, and that solid tackle and challenge from Hunter. Hunter again. Shannon, Curry. Now Hunter. Once. Shannon forward. Big Shannon. Shannon, who's on a hat-trick tonight, starts from the halfway line again. And again from Hunter, the man who started the last attack. Tony Curry. Madeley, faced by Eigenstieler. Hits Starek. Shannon up, down for Curry. That's number 6. 6-0. Tony Curry. That's his first ever international goal. In senior internationals, he'll enjoy seeing the way that Madeley knocks it across, comes off Starek. Shannon, a good challenge under pressure, and Tony Curry, a glorious shot to the far corner. Oh, a chance for Clark. Cheeky bit of football from Colin Bell. Didn't quite come off for Sarah, so the attack builds again through McFarlane. McFarlane going in. Peters for Bell. Colin Bell trying a very exceptional chip ball. Certainly this would be a night to break his duck at Wembley. Krieger on. Sarah. Oh, a chance on then for Clark. Still there, and just over the bar as Krieger was on the line, ready to knock it off, and Alan Clark's hat-trick suddenly disappeared. The moment then that Alan Clark might have got his hat-trick from a bad Austrian defensive mistake. Kinsella comes fast and hard, flying leap and missed the ball. It's still on. Krieger is on the line, but he didn't have to bother. Alf Ramsey, still not any great smile on his face, having a word with our Shepherdson. There's Cocker in between them. Bobby Moore signing autographs at the back. But it's the shooting, fiery shooting of the England front line that has captured the imagination here at Wembley this wet evening. This attack building up again. The chance is on for Bell. Colin Bell makes it 7. Well, that breaks the sequence. It's been C's up to now. Shannon, Clark, Shivers and Curry, and now Bell. Here's the build-up for the goal. And there's Bell sticking it in for number 7. Tomaszewski, the goalkeeper, they say is 6'4" tall. He's going to be caught with the aerial battle tonight. Their pressure is going to come on him. And Jerzy Gorgon, the big number 3, This man who's something of a walking telegraph pole, 6 foot 2.5 inches tall. He's the strong man in the middle, in the heart of this Polish defence. The preliminaries are over. Now the crowd rises. And this tremendously important game is underway. Poland kicking off. Pre-match tactics have been said to be that Poland will hope to suck England forward and strike quickly against them. But here's an England strike, and Clark getting in trouble. First foul of the game. Szymanowski bringing down Clark, the first free kick of the game, and we're in the first minute of the game. Now a situation for England to exploit. Peters over the ball. Curry just behind him. Peters takes it. Chivers goes in. A little bit too long for him. And Tomaszewski immediately in trouble, rolling the ball to Clark's feet. Referee Leroux says there was no foul. The goalkeeper is still down on the ground. As Muszał for Poland knocks it on for Godaka. Good saving tackle then by Hughes. And this ball goes out. Referee Leroux signals to the bench. Tomaszewski wants some treatment. His hand is injured. And no, referee says play on. Bell knocks it out, and again Tomaszewski is signaling to the referee that his hand is hurt. And finally, referee Leroux points to the goal area. So there, right in the first opening minutes of the game, Tomaszewski, the #1 goalkeeper, gets himself a hand injury, a situation that he made for himself. And there's agony on his face, looking as though he may very well have dislocated a finger at the least. Muszał. Good long ball out, well read by Madeley. Colin Bell, through for Chivers. Peters, on again for Bell. And he's still got it. Emlyn Hughes. Support from Hunter. Good ball, Bell. Peters. Clark. Cutting back for Curry to hit. Well, this is the sort of start England wanted. Madeley starting, England going again. Shannon back, Peters, Shannon. Got the shot on now. Was that a corner? No, goal kick. Shannon broke well then. Farland running with the ball, wants somebody running off it for him. Brings Hughes into the game. Colin Bell. Shannon. Well, it wasn't so far away from being a good cross ball. Tomaszewski didn't know a very great deal about it. See, as this break comes, Bell sets it up with that neat ball for Shannon. He runs Szymanowski, and that cross ball just behind. Peters over the ball. Chip forward on the far post is McFarland! It must have hit the post! Well, how did that one not go in? Madeley, and it's too far behind him, so the whole attack breaks down. Poland, practically everybody goal side of the ball now. Chivers! Down! Clark! Well, that was a chance, a fractional chance. This long ball, Chivers fighting for it on the far post, knocks it down, and Gorgon it was, holding off Clark, did just enough, and in fact looked very much as though he tripped him after the ball had gone. McFarland. And again McFarlane. And Curry. And Gorgon and Mujal in an argument with referee Lato, and he's reaching into his pocket, but he's given a free kick. Here's the incident again. Curry whacking it hard, bodies all over the place. And an offside flag, in fact, had caught Clark off. Off-plate Curry kept that in well. Good ball on for Shannon. Far post is Peters. And now Chivers. And again Morgan got in the way of it. And the chance on the bell. That is just about the most exciting goal-mouth activity I've seen in a long time. Another corner, but look what was happening in there. The shot on then from Bell, and that wonderful save from Tomaszewski. Shannon wants the throw-in taken quickly. Oh, he did that neatly. Pressure still on, Chivers across. That looked like handball. Casper Jack, great appeal for the penalty, but the referee won't have it. Curry gives the free kick on this occasion against Shemikiewicz. Shot on for Emlyn Hughes. Not now. McFarlane. Clark's all right. Very nearly squeezed one in as the Poles were looking for the offside decision, which wasn't there. Here it is again. Clark and Tomaszewski makes the save as now we're back live with the corner. Shot on, McCurry. Tomaszewski's still a mile off his line. This is the most incredible first half of football that I've seen for a very, very long time. Chivers the long throw. Tomaszewski must be wearing all kinds of lucky charms under that yellow jersey. Oh, beautifully run by Colin Bell off Dania. Tomaszewski punching. He's at panic stations. Madeley. And Bouchard for a corner. Solid, unrelenting pressure from England, and still they can't get that goal. Over-eagerness a lot of the time. Tomaszewski's come. Got half a hand to it. And a goal kick at last. Chivers down for Shannon, and he loses it. Ball cannons away for Peters. On for Clark. Looking for Shannon. And a magnificent save from Tomaszewski. Wasn't much wrong with that piece of goalkeeping. As we can see again, that fine cross ball from Clark. And watch the way Tomaszewski gets off the ground. He really had to climb for that one. Godaka again. Way back. Kulzacki a bit dangerous to knock it back now. For Gorgon. Well robbed by Clark. Chivers and the shot on the Curry. Tony Curry, the chance of a lifetime then to have broken this deadlock. Look at the way Gorgon was robbed by Clark magnificently. Chivers, the ball rolled into Curry's path. Tomaszewski a mile off his line to narrow the angle, but he really ought not to have been given any chance. Paul Madeley, his Leeds United colleague, starting something going the far side. Colin Bell. For Emlyn Hughes, what a beautiful ball. First timer. Hughes for Curry to try one. That one's on target. And now Shannon. Wow, really hit that one into the side netting. The crowd almost standing to give an ovation to that spectacular bit of football. You can look at that shot of Tony Curry's again. Tomaszewski not daring to try and catch it, and Shannon the volley. Lato screaming down the right side, left side rather. Now it's Lato against McFarlane, and Godoka's over there. The shot is on for Domaski. Oh, he scored! Domaski's got to go! 1-0 Poland. The tragedy that England might have expected. The Poles going mad around the scorer Domaski. Here it is again. Lato doing the breakout as they caught England all the way forward. And Domaski coming in now. The challenge of Hughes not quite enough. And it's in the back of the net. Shivers. Peters up, the flick on for Clark, he knocks it back. And there's the equaliser. No, it's been knocked off. Shannon knocked it in. Referee Laurent knocks it off. The crowd stunned. When we look at it again, we may see exactly why. Shivers, the long throw. The flick back. Clark. Well, there didn't seem to be anything wrong with that at all. That's a loose one. Shannon is in against Gorgon. And Gorgon brings it back. Peters quickly in against Bouchard. For my money. He has. It's a penalty. Referee Laurent deliberated as Mouchal committed the offence. Now the pressure's on Alan Clark. In 9 goals for England, he scored 3 penalties. This, one of the most vital ones of his career. Alan Clark. The eyes of over 100,000 people here at Wembley on him and the goalkeeper he hopes to beat, Tomaszewski. Shilton can't even look at all, though. Clark, he's got it! 1-1. And England are back in the game. Sending Tomaszewski the wrong way with a sway of the hips. Clark. Peters brings it down. Chivers couldn't get a shot in. Hughes, and again the Poles packed back into their penalty area. Hughes checks out of that one well. Has he done too much? Curry! It's just not coming off for England tonight, for Tony Curry in particular, but everything is flying for this goalkeeper, Tomaszewski. Tony Curry. And it's off the line and kicked away! Hector! It cannoned off Kevin Hector, I think. I'm sure it was Hector. We can see it again in the instant replay. And off the line at the very last second. And the Poles have lived dangerously, but they're still living. Referee Laurent looks at his watch. We're in injury time now. We are in injury time, and England are drawing the game, but they're losing their chance of going to Germany. Hughes, tremendous tackle by Shemikiewicz. Watch Peters. Gorgon got in the way. Bell. And it cannons away. Saki kicks it off the line. The ball had beaten Tomaszewski. He was still off his line from Bell's shot. And Bulzaki was the man, Bulzatsky, who knocked it out. A foul throw given, which will suit this Polish side. This red-blooded Polish side, who have really done a turn-up for the books here at Wembley tonight. Norman Hunter. Have England got time now? No, they have not. It's over. It's all over. And for England, one of the blackest days they've ever had. Sir Alf Ramsey must be a very disheartened man, but he still has a handshake for Polish officials. Polish players, photographers, Polish supporters out on the field, and that man Tomaszewski, probably one of the happiest footballers this stadium has ever seen.
We've seen Shilton make great saves like that, but I mean, he was presumably cold because he'd been out of the action for so long.
He'd caught it in his teeth. If he'd been involved in any of the actions, that other clown at the other end was.
Yeah, but you keep calling him, hey, Brian, you keep calling him a clown, but in fact, that fellow has made some fantastic saves, and he's kept England...
That's fair, Brian. We've just watched an hour and a half's football now, and the other goalkeeper, the reason why Poland's gone through to Munich next year is because that he did his job well tonight, and he had all the luck that was going. Peter Shilton only had 2 shots, and I thought that Peter Shilton should have stopped that particular one. It skidded under his butt. Malcolm, I am here for my opinion, and I think that Peter Shilton should have stopped that, and I don't think that the other goalkeeper is a clown, and I think that that's very adverse comment, Brian. I think the goalkeeper is paid to do his job, and he did a tremendous job for Poland tonight.
I was talking to Peter Shilton before the match. I wish I'd have had time to have a word with him after the match, because if anybody had time on his hands to assess a man playing in his position, it was Peter Shilton on Wednesday, and he would have turned him inside out. Technically, ability-wise, and every aspect of goalkeeping.
When do you think this fellow might get found out then? Because he certainly wasn't really
found out, and I've got to wait in actual fact. The 5 million that's watching the programme now, obviously, having seen it again, they'll have digested it a little bit more, and I've got another 4.5 million on my side. But the other odds and sods will have to wait 7 months till Munich.
And you think he'll be found out in the World Cup?
Oh, he'll be found out immediately. It'll be a tragedy in actual fact that a good, talented side, and they are a talented side, who can play defensively like they played very well, will be let down by a goalkeeper.
In the future, in the next 4 years, you know, the schoolboys are going to associate themselves with Brazilian players and West German players and Dutch players because England wasn't in the World Cup, and because they see players on television that are in the most important competition in the world, and therefore they're not going to associate themselves with English players.
I do believe, though, that, you know, when the dust settled and the numbness has worn off, and we face reality of having been knocked out of this particular World Cup, then a more rational side will emerge, and it'll be a case of Sir Alf's had a good run, no grumbles. I personally think he will want to go.
How soon?
Well, it'll be done in full FA tradition, obviously. It'll be done at the right time. It will take a long time in terms of months, but it will go in conjunction with the FA.
Now, when the new manager is appointed, if there is a new manager to be appointed, what is there about an England side that you want to see happen then that maybe hasn't been happening lately?
Well, obviously, if you get the best manager, which England should have the best manager in the country, then he will pick the best team. And football is a matter of opinion, but opinions are very, very small on certain issues, and team selection is one of them. Everybody knows which is the best team, and I don't think this is one of Alf's strong points. I don't think it's his strong point either to make crucial decisions when the pressure's on. I think he goes a little bit blank, and I think he goes a little bit numb, and I think he's involved with the game too much.
Do you think maybe the Chivers situation on Wednesday night, when he didn't take Chivers off until, what, a couple of minutes from the end?
Well, whether it's Chivers or whatever it was, a decision had to be made. Time was running out, the sand was going through our fingers, and somebody had to put the plug in. And, you know, a decision had to be made. Hey, he would have stood or fallen by that decision. It mightn't have made any difference, but it just might. And you'd never know unless you try.
Now, what sort of man would you see replacing Sir Alf Ramsey?
Well, as I've said, he's got to be the very best manager in the Football League. And despite the fact it chokes me to say it, it does honestly. Revie, without any shadow of a doubt, I wrote earlier on in the week, Peter Taylor and I, perhaps, 2 of us against 1 could hold our own, but on his own, he is the best manager in the Football League.
Does it choke you also to say that you've got no chance?
It chokes me, obviously, to say that, because I would dearly love to do it. It's everybody's ambition, it's everybody's utopia. And what's more, I'm capable of doing it.
Do you think you'll ever get the chance?
Oh, of course.
It really is a very important game for both sides as they build towards the European Championship and then, of course, towards the 1978 World Cup in Argentina.
Quite a test for the England side under Don Revie, against 5 of the side that in fact won the World Cup for West Germany last July, including that immaculate captain of theirs, Franz Beckenbauer. But somebody who knows more about England-Germany clashes than anyone joins me in the commentary box tonight. Sir Alf Ramsey, of course. Sir Alf, how do you think the game might go out there?
Well, I think it's a great night at Wembley, as it is with all matches. The Germans have selected a very strong team. I think it will be a good match for this England team to play in, and I'm certain that they will justify their selection.
It's been pouring with rain all day out there. I mean, it's a saturated Wembley. Will that have any effect on the game, do you think?
I think it must affect the game to some extent. I think probably after the first 20 minutes the ground will start cutting up, and at the same time it will suit players such as MacDonald, and I'm looking for him to utilise the ground conditions with his strength to be successful.
A lot of criticism about Alan Ball being made skipper. What's your comment about that?
Oh, I have no criticism over this issue, in that Alan, I think, is a great lad. I didn't consider making him a captain because he was a captain in his own right on the field anyway in every match that he played. But it's a great honour for him. I'm delighted for him, and I'm sure that he will do a great job.
I'm sure he will. Let's see if he does. We've now got to, coming to the point where we're getting very close to the kick-off. The atmosphere here at Wembley, absolutely, as Alf says, quite tremendous. Let's now go and join the players and the crowd out in the stadium. And here is Alan Ball, leading England for the first time. He said last week that it would be a high emotional moment in his career and a high point in his career as well. And whatever people may say about his record, sent off 5 times, I believe England could have no finer captain than him tonight. And in spite of the pouring rain all day, which will leave the pitch very heavy, German flags in amongst the crowd and Wembley packed to capacity. So let's catch up on the two teams then. First of all, England, with 3 new caps announced by manager Don Revie for this game. The fullback Steve Whitworth of Leicester City and Ian Gillard from Queen's Park Rangers, and the midfield man Alan Hudson of Stoke City. As for the West German side, 8 of these players played in the World Cup series last summer, 5 of them in the final itself. They're a very experienced side with an average age, as I say, of 27. Just 1 new cap, the number 7, Manfred Ritzel, a winger who also plays fullback for his club, but he's 28 years old. A wealth of experience in this West German side, as well as indeed there is in the English side. Ray Clements, the England goalkeeper there. Now for Hudson. Shannon on the far side saying he wants it in the air. Nice little 1-2 there with Ball. Hudson turning it in. Oh, and that went right across the face of the goal. If anything, Shannon dummied MacDonald as well. Gillard turning it back again, and the Germans under a lot of pressure there. But they got out of the hole, and here's Holzenbein. Holzenbein again. Bell. Hudson. Lovely little 1-2 Hudson and Ball played there that opened the way for England a moment ago. Gillard's gone down the left to make himself available for Hudson. Here he is. But Bertie Vogts will get there before Keegan. Sir Alf, you wanted to say something?
The England team are settling down very well and very quickly, and I thought this last movement, the 1-2 between Alan Ball and Hudson, was an extremely good movement, and it was a bit unfortunate that we didn't get a touch inside the 18-yard box.
Well, it's another England throw. And Hudson is leaving it for MacDonald. Giving the ball a wipe. Looks as though he might try a nice long one now. Shannon is waiting in the middle there, so too is Keegan. And Beckenbauer got it away as far as Costello. Bell with a long shot, a ricochet just over that German crossbar, corner to England. The Germans don't agree, but that was a long shot by Bell. And that could have been a very nasty ricochet indeed. So a corner which Keegan's going to take. Here was the deflection. Todd getting in. Whitworth with time to consider what's open to him. Keegan playing the 1-2 back to Whitworth again. Ball, I would imagine, screaming for it there and getting it. Through to Hudson again for England. There seemed no way through there, and MacDonald couldn't get it onto his famous left foot. Bell with the shot and it's blocked by the Germans. Watson saying, let me have a go. Whitworth playing it first time, trying to get through for the 1-2 off MacDonald. England coming forward there with great confidence. And a good deal of accurate first-time passing on a rather difficult surface. Hudson now with a chance to float a free kick in. Watson already up on the far side. And Bell, yes! 1-0 to England. And Colin Bell is the scorer. There was a deflection there for the credit to Bell.
Yes, the free kick was taken by Alan Hudson. Coleman threw himself at the ball, didn't get it. Colin Todd struck a goal, a good effort. It came off a defender and the goalkeeper, Meyer, was unsighted.
And England in the mood to accept anything. Here's Holzenbein for West Germany. Koolman. Well, that's the sort of spirit that England need tonight, and it's Kevin Keegan leading the way. Through to MacDonald on that left foot. Oh, and wonderful save by Meyer. That's the first time we've had a chance of seeing that thunderous left foot of MacDonald's. Stopped by Hudson. Good quick challenge there by Hudson, and a good quick recovery as well as he finds Colin Bell. Shannon up hard, really aggressively going at this West German defence. Here's Hudson. Played into MacDonald's area there. Oh, and a little floater just over. Oh, that MacDonald wasn't too far from that. You expect those tremendous drives, and here's a bit of delicate skill.
Malcolm MacDonald coming in on his left foot. He makes space to get his shot in, and just unfortunately, just a little too high. A great shot.
Now it's with Holzenbein. Flurry to Bonoff. Oh, straight between Whitworth's legs, and here's Bonoff now. For West Germany, hit hard and low. Oh, and a deflection there, and Gillard, no! There's the shot again, blocked once more by Ritzel. And England really were in trouble there from the moment Bonoff managed to trick Whitworth. But it's still not away, as Bertie Vogts now has a chance to turn it in again. Costello right up there, and Whitworth can follow this one out for England. Now Kevin Keegan. Busy little stride, but will he get past Kerbel? Yes, he will. And he's found Whitworth. Hudson away on the right. Here's Hudson. Time to measure his cross, and it'll come for Keegan again. Now Ball, can he get a shot in? No, he flicks it instead for Gillard. Across the face of the goal again, and Gillard was no more than a yard wide. Good build-up by England, thoughtful all along the way.
This was a very good attack by the England team. It was quick, it was decisive, and Gillard was a little unfortunate when he hit the shot and pulled it just a little too wide of the post.
That time the pass fell to Whitworth, and here's Ball to Bell. Koolman. I think Bonoff will get to that one, and Bell was in there to MacDonald, hit well. Bell, is this number 2? Oh my goodness, no! Well, Sir Alf, they couldn't have got closer than that.
No, it was very, very good. Malcolm MacDonald, a tremendous shot, followed in by Colin Bell. Colin Bell and Mike Shannon, I feel, thought it was going in. Mike Shannon followed it past the post. Very, very unfortunate.
Hudson, back for Ball. Played down for Shannon. Challenge from behind, which is unfair. And the free kick already taken, and here's Ball now. With the cross as MacDonald comes in, yes! Malcolm MacDonald, number 2! Well, all that stemming from a quickly taken free kick. The first goal he scored for England from Malcolm MacDonald, putting England 2-0 into the lead.
A foul on Mike Mike Shannon, a quick free kick by him to Alan Ball, and a great cross to the far post to Malcolm MacDonald. Meyer had no chance. MacDonald had it all the way, and it finished up in the back of the net. It was a great movement, great thinking, accuracy in passing and also in finishing. Right, you know, it's often said that all left-footed players, that is predominantly left-footed players, appear to be awkward, and that would apply to Ian Gillard, but I think.
Well, he's had a good first international so far.
He certainly has.
But now look at Keegan. As the West Germans come back quickly in defence, but there's Colin Bell on the far side. Oh, bad luck for him. Tremendous break by England. Keegan leading the way, and both Bell and MacDonald were unmarked on that far side of the German penalty area.
It was a great movement forward. The ball was played across the face of the goal. Colin Bell never quite got hold of it or controlled it, but his final effort just went over the bar. It was a very good movement.
And MacDonald versus Beckenbauer, and MacDonald might come off best. Oh, Beckenbauer! Well, that's an extraordinary situation. Well, we've seen before how players have been hauled back by defenders in a desperate situation. It's the first time I've seen them grab a ball as Beckenbauer did there. And the crowd not at all happy with that bit of gamesmanship. And England get no more than a free kick when it looked as though MacDonald must be through. Well, it's on to MacDonald's left foot again now. Trying to get a 1-2 going. And the ball played forward now. And Todd belting after it. And I think he'll get there before Holzenbein. Now it's with Bell for Hudson. Shannon. Little break for the West Germans in spite of Hudson's attentions. And Heinke is trying to go in. Heinke who's on for Costello. Costello, the number 9, has been taken off. Bell making a great run down the left, and Keegan couldn't quite pick him up. Now Hudson. Played for Keegan. Willing those legs to get there before the ball goes out of play. Very, very damp in that corner in particular. But here's Keegan again. Played now for Hudson. He's got time to let one go, and he has, and it's wide. And now with Gillard. Now with Ball. Bell found some space for himself down there, and what a lovely ball now for Mike Shannon. There's the cross. Oh, and Whitwell came roaring in there. Keegan might get his shot in. Tries a little floater. He's hit the crossbar. Bell couldn't get it back in. Oh, what a marvellous piece of thinking though by Keegan.
Again, this was a great effort by Kevin Keegan. The ball came out to him, he carried it. One thought he'd lost his opportunity of shooting. He clipped the ball, he picked his spot, and it hit the crossbar and came out. Colin Bell followed in.
Well, that was the final full point on the end of the evening, Sir Alf, and a victory for England by 2-0. Your overall impressions?
A very good match for the England players. They thoroughly enjoyed it, and a great result. The Germans came here to win. They didn't win due to the fact that they were playing against or met a better team on the day.
So, an emphatic victory for England by 2-0. It could so easily have been by 4-0. It really is a night for English smiles. And I should think one man who must be as delighted as anybody is the England team manager, Don Revie. Let's hear from Don now with Keith Macklin.
Don, tremendous performance on an awful pitch. You must be a very happy man.
I'm absolutely delighted, Keith. Mainly because of the team performance, not so much of the result. We're pleased to have won, but we worked hard on Monday and Tuesday and talked an awful lot about things, about the balance of play and about the passing and being more arrogant and cheeky, and making ourselves believe that we've got some good world-class players and not every other country.
I think the amazing thing, Don, is that this was, in some respects, a patchwork side, in that you had to fill in at the last minute, and yet they played so brilliantly together.
Yes, the two full-backs, Ian Gillard and Steve Whitworth and Alan Hudson, the three new caps, did remarkably well, but so did all the team. Colin Todd swept at the back, the passing was good. The pitch was difficult to play on. We worked on pressing up on the Germans and pressurising up at the back and not leaving Beckenbauer free so much. You know, if Beckenbauer had it, then we decided to push up on the back three. And pick people up in the middle of the field and deny them a lot of space.
There we are, a much delighted Don Revie, and every reason to be, because that victory tonight against the world champions, West Germany, puts England in very good heart, of course, to their two European Championship matches that are coming up in April and in May against Cyprus. We hope very much that you've enjoyed our ITV presentation of this match between England and West Germany tonight. England winners by 2-0, scored, of course, by Colin Bell in the first half, by Malcolm MacDonald in the second. You should go to bed happy tonight. Good night.
So Kevin Keegan, as you see, in the England side. Don Revie, his experiments for the moment are over. He's gone solidly for experience, with Kevin Beattie of Ipswich back after a groin injury in the number 3 shirt. Bell and Ball and Francis in the middle of the field. Shannon, Johnson and Keegan, the man that Don Revie will be looking for to put right the thing that has been wrong with English football for the last few months, the scoring of goals. And the Scottish side, while of course delight everywhere in Scotland that Alfie Conn, who came on as a substitute against Northern Ireland in Glasgow on Tuesday, now gets a game from the start. This is the side that finished against Northern Ireland. It looks a well-balanced side. Probably the best part of their side last Tuesday was the back four of Jardine Munro, McQueen and McGrain, who looked really solid, and the brilliant form in the middle of the field of Kenny Dalglish. Johnson, Francis, Shannon. Francis again. Oh, he's shaken off Jardine there. And there's a good shot. Oh, it's there! Jerry Francis! Oh, Jerry Francis, a beautiful goal! He shook off that Scottish defender, and a rocketing shot with only 5 minutes gone. Francis the scorer, and what a tremendous goal. Dennis.
Oh, this is tremendous move here. He did tremendous. He shook off a couple of defenders and he let whack. Look at this. What? My God, what a goal. And what a bad start for Scotland.
It's with Alfie Conn now for Scotland. Now Francis, chipping it forward to Ball. Back again to Francis. It'll give England a lot of confidence, that goal. And it's showing there as Keegan takes it up. And Beattie is the only man up with him. Of all people, the fullback. The chip comes in towards Beattie. And it's there again! 2-0! 2 goals in the first 6 minutes. And Kevin Beattie and Kennedy can't believe it. Whether he's knocked himself out or whether he just can't believe the blows that have hit Scotland, I don't know. But that's 2 minutes gone. A great run by Kevin Keegan. And just look how Beattie comes in to win it against Jardine. And again, wide of Stuart Kennedy in that Scottish goal. Well, he could be getting into a corner, but Munro was there to help him, and Munro puts him back in that corner. Whitworth. Well, that'll fall for Dalglish. That's a good aggressive run by Dalglish. And look at Parlane there. Oh, bad luck for Scotland. Made by the superb running of Kenny Dalglish. Just as they did against Ireland. What about that?
Yes, Kenny Dalglish did a tremendous run here, and he laid on a perfect inch pass there. I think he hit the post here, Brian.
Yes, he did.
Just the outside.
Francis. Shannon. Francis again. Several good passes now by England. Colin Bell. Still with Colin Bell. Oh, number 3 by Bell! Well, what a beautiful passing movement. Short, simple passes there. There's one of them by Shannon through to Francis, who'd made the first one. Another one there, slipping in for Keegan. Laid back this time for Bell. Bell going through the challenge of Danny McGrain. The ball filing nicely for him. 3-0 to England. Well, Dennis, you were saying what Scotland need is a goal.
Dear. Brian, that is very... Well, the first 2 goals were bad enough, but I think that one just really more or less seals it, and it's not even half-time yet. Jerry Francis, who was going out of the game, come back there with some tremendous short passing. Colin Bell got the break of the ball, of course, but he made the best of it.
Now Con. Watson missing his kick. McDougall can't get in, and he's given a penalty. A penalty to Scotland. There was a handball there. I think it was probably Watson, or maybe it was Todd. Here's the slow-mo now. Who took, whose handball was it? Not there. Well, if you saw it, you were better than I, but the referee was right there. Rudy Glockner, Jerry Francis having a word with Ray Clements, maybe telling him which side Bruce Rioch will take the penalty, or rather which side he will hit it. Rioch versus Clements. And it's there for Scotland. Well, that's one of the coolest penalties you'll see at Wembley. He actually did a dummy there. Look at that for coolness. A dummy, a stop, a run forward, and perfectly placed by Bruce Rioch. And some of the Scottish fans have got probably the best position in the whole of the stadium. Barlane won it well in the air. McDougall there as well. And Todd, he's giving it back. Could this be the one there? Duncan's there. Oh, and into the side netting. Well, that was the moment that could have put Scotland right back in the game. And it was presented to them by England. Dennis?
Well, what a bad pass back for England here, but Duncan took it well. I think if he had gone down there, he might have got a pen, but he took it round, and he was very unlucky not to get it in the back of the net.
Now Hutchison, and there's a pass that goes straight to Keegan. And England now have sprung men forward, and Bell has gone forward a tremendous rate of knots. Down he goes, free kick. Hutchison, who gave the ball away in the first place, coming right back to trip Kevin Keegan.
Brian, I think as Francis mentioned early on with Tommy Hutchison, he does look as though he's reluctant to do anything really. He gave a very sloppy ball there, which is at Wembley is not really on. It could be a mistake, actually.
It's certainly not on when your side is 3-1 down, and there are less than 30 minutes to go. So what are England going to cook up here? Well, that was neat. Ball, in fact, playing the ball between Bell's legs for Jerry Francis, but the Scottish ball wasn't back 10 yards, and I don't think that'll come off again. Watson away up here on the right in case they should try a long one. Well, they did try it again, and it came off, and it's a goal by Francis. Well, the Scots fell for that twice. It almost came off for England, and the referee called them back because the wall wasn't back 10 yards. You would never have thought they could get away with it again, but they did. There's Francis with the shot. A slight deflection there, in off the post. 4-1 to England. Con, Hutchison and McGrain, just Hutchison and McGrain in that wall, played towards the near post. Oh, hit onto the crossbar, and then Watson didn't get it in, and Johnson did. David Johnson. 5-1 to England. Johnson, who got a couple against Wales on Wednesday. Here's the free kick by Alan Ball, playing to the near post, had him always in trouble. He could only push it onto the crossbar. I thought Watson might have got it in. In the end, Johnson did. Dalglish. Rioch, who's battled and taken up some good positions, and that's a good cross towards Macari. Down goes Clements again. It's going to be such a long journey home for them. Alfie Conn then for Scotland. Rioch. Hutchison. Played for McGrain. Hutchison again. Letting one go. Oh, and what a good shot and what a good save. One of the few points that Scotland have made in that second half. And Tommy Hutchison, who's had very little to say for himself, Good shot, but what a good save by Ray Clements.
Jerry Francis, how certain were you before the game that you were actually going to play?
Well, I wasn't at all certain, you know, until the boss told me Friday. I mean, no one's certain whether they're going to play or not. We just had to wait until the boss told us, and he told me Friday, and that's when I knew I was playing.
And your first goal for England, you'll no doubt remember that forever. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the ball came to me, and I pushed it into a bit of space, and the fellow that was marking me slipped, and I thought, you know, I'm going to go on and have a go. I went on and had a go, and that was it, 1-0.
Clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
And of course, you were very much involved with another one, weren't you?
Yeah, I think the third one. We played a couple of 1-2s, and it came back to Colin Bell, and he put it away.
And your second goal, remember that one too?
It was a free kick, and I tried to curl it around the wall, and it took a deflection, I think, and just went in off the post.
And the performance generally of the England side, what do you think of it?
Well, I mean, you was there. I thought it was superb today.
And you personally enjoyed yourself, no doubt, terrific.
Very much, yeah.
Jerry Francis, thanks very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
Don Reevy, the best England win since 1961. What pleased you most about this performance?
Well, I thought on Wednesday night there was a little bit of pattern starting to take shape, and I thought the balance was better of the team. I thought the passing was better, and today they started to put it all together, and we got the early goal that made a tremendous difference. Jerry Francis had a wonderful game, and he just got inside the fellow who slipped, and then he whacked it past Gordon McQueen. It fitted in the right spot. That was just the ideal situation, the ideal start we wanted. Then the next ball was a great ball from Alan Ball, who's knocked up over the full-back side, and Kevin Beattie took it down the line, crossed it first time, and Kevin Beattie creeped up on the blind side and the header. I would say the team performance as a whole, not the result.
But in your wildest dreams, did you expect them to do anything like this?
No, not to this extent, being very honest. But I was delighted the way they played in the performance.
And then when you did get 2 goals up, you seemed to slow down a bit. It seemed to hamper you a little bit.
Well, I said there's a time to play quick and there's a time to play slow in football. I think in our football at times we try to play far too fast, but we've had an awful lot of criticism in the past 7 or 8 days. This has done the team an awful lot of good, this result this afternoon.
Now, looking to the future, how far now are you to getting together, do you think, a World Cup squad?
Not very far, about 25%. We've had 8 matches, we've had 5 wins and 3 draws. And the way I've chopped and changed players about in teams, I haven't given them a chance to really settle down. We've got this week to get together in June, which will help an awful lot now. Now we can talk about the 8 matches and work out things morning and afternoon. It will be absolutely wonderful.
And do you think you have actually got enough international class players to make a World Cup winning side?
I think that if the television and press talked about our good players in this country, there'd be world-class players on the other side of the world, but we don't believe in them enough. I do. It's my job to make them believe.
Well, now let's take a check on the 2 teams for the game. England with no late scares. It means that the attacking side named by Don Reevy on Monday is now poised for work. 4-2-4 with Ray Wilkins and Trevor Brooking. The 2 men really have got to sort things out in the middle of the field. And Kevin Keegan, Mike Shannon, Joe Royle, Dennis Stewart, even more important, they're the strikers who've got to strike hard tonight and with great accuracy. So much then for the England side. What about the amateurs from Finland? And since England beat them 4-1 in Helsinki in June, they've twice conceded 6 goals to Sweden and to Scotland, but they got 7 themselves in another World Cup qualifying game against Luxembourg. A mixture there of students, accountants, teachers, a couple of firemen, and England must sweep them aside tonight. So Brooking again, a little wider this time with that one. Phil Thompson there with a header, and Joe Royle, and Stewart. Well, did Royle's header go in, or was it Stewart? It's a goal for England in the first 5 minutes. Precisely what they wanted. Here's Brooking's cross. Phil Thompson was in there. Royle there as well. Handball on the line. Stewart putting it into the back of the net. 9 minutes gone. England, a goal to the good, scored in the first 5 minutes by Dennis Stewart. Thompson with a long cross towards Joe Royle. There's the head. There's the shot by Brooking, and somehow Vikler got in the way. Stewart having a tussle there with Jantunen. Brooking. Another delicate cross coming in. Royle wanting to be there first with a header just over the back of the goal. Brooking's crosses, which worried the Finns all the time in Helsinki, are already causing trouble here. A beautiful cross. Royle ducking in with a header just over that Finnish crossbar. Brooking's corner. Keegan's header.
Stewart again. Oh, deflected that time off a defender. The goalkeeper nowhere. Royal finding a bit of space there. Todd. Good play by Todd. Keegan's on the far side with the whistle. The flag, in fact, was up way before Brooking got the header in. A lovely move here. Todd putting the cross in, but there's the offside. Indeed, it was against Keegan. A good decision again by the linesman. Shannon. All turning well. On the far side is Stewart. Down with the header. Good save again by Enkelman. Getting plenty to do tonight, this big 6'3" Finnish goalkeeper. Nice cross by Shannon. Stewart up so well on the far side. Suomalainen now. To the number 10, Heiskanen. Padalainen's gone right through. Here's a chance now. Nieminen. He scored! Nieminen has scored for Finland, and that's a real disaster for England. Well, they've been getting better all the time, but this was a shock that nobody expected. Good play here by Heiskanen, and a little toe poke there by Nieminen, just inside the post. 1-1. Royals header, now Shannon. Taking him on, but running with the ball. It looked like a handball there, but still Shannon. It's in there, and it's Joe Royal who's put it there. Well, England needed to come back so quickly from that reverse at the other end, and Joe Royal now has tucked it into the back of the finish net. Shannon, it looked as though there may have been a handball just there, but Shannon went on and the Swedish referee allowed him to. Good play by Mick Shannon and a good, well-directed header by Royal. From behind we see it again. Shannon getting almost to that byline, squaring it back. Royal's header, 2-1 to England now. Greenoff, crowd wanting England to play that ball into the Finnish penalty area. Shannon. It's another good cross by him. Beat is right in there, headed across the goal there. Keegan's header, and a good save again by Enkelman. And the ball out for a throw. So the big goalkeeper foils England again. Shannon's good long cross. Beat his header, well directed. Keegan getting down, and so too did the goalkeeper. Oh, Todd, that header, giving it away again. And it might come through. Yes! Oh, what a great save! A great save there by Clements from Asa Heiskanen. That was slackness again in the English defence. He hit that beautifully, and what a good save by the Liverpool goalkeeper. There's the corner. It'll come straight through to Wilkins. Chipped in once more by him. Kevin Beattie! 3-1. Well, the change worked wonders for England. No, not given. Not given. No, an offside given. The goal doesn't stand. The referee was pointing dramatically towards the centre. An offside decision.
Don, what was your verdict on that?
Very disappointed and very upset for the players, because I've been in professional football and played in games like that where you have all the pressure and things don't go right, and our passing went astray. And I'd like to say that to the 92,000 fans, I apologise, and the players, for the performance we did tonight, because they expected a lot of goals, and we should beat Finns part-timers more than possibly 2-1. But the players are upset about it, I'm upset about it. We only hope we can put it right against Italy. The pleasing thing is that we've got 4 points out of Finland, and they have proved that they're a very useful side, and they might just pinch a point from Italy.
Well, where did things go wrong? Because it all started so well.
It started well. We played the attacking formation, and we said, well, if we can get to the line and get balls across, and this happened in the first 4 minutes, and we got the ideal goal that we wanted. And then things started to go wrong. The keeper made a few good saves and cut out a few good crosses, but we were a little bit slack at the back, and we could have been punished a lot more than we were. We felt we were only out there to possibly go forward when we should have been thinking about picking up people and leave a man free at the back. and playing it sensibly, but possibly we got carried away a little bit with that first goal was possibly a bad thing for us. Then the passes started to go astray, and we got the result, but we're fortunate really.
And it could have been a disaster, in fact.
Could have been a complete disaster if we dropped a point at home against Finland, because I said yesterday, if we couldn't beat Finland, then we didn't deserve to qualify for the World Cup finals. But all the lads is down there, I don't think they've got in the bath yet. They just can't believe that things can go wrong.
Well, you picked a side for a specific job which didn't succeed. Now, where do you go from here? Do you start all over again or what?
No, I think that's part of being a manager's job. I think you've got to face up the facts that if you pick an attacking side and things don't go right, then you are responsible. The only thing I can say is I think I've got a good squad of players. They're very, very keen to do well for England fans, and we haven't done it yet. The last 2 games at Wembley we haven't produced. And I only hope that in time we can keep working at it with a bunch of players who are so dedicated and work so hard. And the funny thing is that we've worked hard all week on finishing and done it really well, half an hour each morning. And then tonight we have a few chances where we've got clear shots at goal with defenders and midfield players and forwards, and we don't hit the target.
Don Ravy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's look then at the England side that hopes to give Zender a bit of backache tonight. 2 changes yesterday from the chosen England team. John Gidman of Aston Villa comes in for his first cap in place of the injured Dave Clement. And at number 10, Trevor Francis gets his second cap because Dennis Stewart failed a fitness test. It's a team designed for attacking football, but this then is the Luxembourg side against them. And only 4 of the Luxembourg side are professionals. Pilot, the number 5, plays in the Belgian 3rd division. Brown at 9 and Dussier at 11, both useful professionals in France, and Philippe at number 10 is an experienced man, the 4th professional. He plays in the Belgian 2nd division. Luxembourg's last win in an international match was away back in 1973 against Norway. They've pulled a lot back now. Cherry, England have patiently got to find a way through. Hughes. Chipped in this time for Keegan, a good piece of running by him and a good ball from Hughes. Royal up again there. Oh, and knocked over the top by Gordon Hill. That was much better though by England because they patiently built up that attack, and it was a lovely ball there by Hughes through for Keegan, who'd run so well. A nice turn and a cross. Up goes Royal again and Hill over the top. Shannon's another man who's got to find the firepower tonight. Gidman getting plenty of work in these opening minutes. Now finding Trevor Francis. Good floated cross to the far side there. Royal is right up there. Dave Watson in there. A little chip by him. Keegan! The goal England wanted. And Keegan, the captain, is the man who supplied it. Gidman galloping up that right touchline now for England. Shannon taking it nicely in his stride. And a good cross by him towards Joe Royal. Kennedy right in there and can only play it back for Shannon. Hit it again by Shannon. Knocked out by Pilot. Kennedy. Now can England get this second goal before half-time? Francis there. Knocked in once more there. Francis just over the top, and that really was very close. Well, England putting a lot of pressure there on Zender and the Luxembourg defence. Nice little touch in there. And Trevor Francis just over that crossbar. And now Emlyn Hughes. Royal up. Shannon trying to take it on. Stopped by Pilot. Play on, an advantage played there by the Maltese referee. Here's Gordon Hill. Now plenty up for this one. Trevor Francis with the shot just over the top. Shannon. Hill taking it to the byline, getting it across well on the far side. Now Gidman trying to blast it through there, and it hit the goalkeeper's knees. Well, there might be a few worries there, and that bench Don Revie in the centre. Gidman now making the quick break here for England. Francis on the far side, getting past Marg this time. That looks much better there, and it didn't quite run for them now. Can Mariner turn it in? Oh, and a great save by Zender. Well, that brought a bit of pace and purpose about England coming forward. And it was Paul Mariner, the man who supplied it. Great run here by Trevor Francis, getting past Marg. And here's Mariner, turning, shooting, and a tremendous save by the Luxembourg keeper. Now it's with Hill. And it's a corner for England. Gidman on his feet again. And I fancy that Fandel will shortly be back, but here's Hill taking the corner for England. Hit a bit lower this time. Played in once more towards Mariner. Shannon couldn't get a shot in a clear one. Watson with a header. Keegan's in there too. Hill's in there too. And in the end it's Francis. Well, they've broken through again at long, long last. It was bobbing about there for a long, long time before Francis put that final touch to it. Keegan stretching and stretching. Hill with a little touch with the header. Francis coming in quickly, number 10. 2-0 to England. Keegan's ball played through for Shannon. Back for Keegan again. Wide on the far side for Francis. Man who got that second goal. Taking on his man and beating him with ease. There's a nice little cross coming in. Keegan's right in there. Kennedy's right in there. And he's kicked off the line. Right at the very last there by Pilo. Hill turning it back again. And Zender getting in just in the nick of time. Well, those two are at it again. Well, has the whistle gone? They've picked the ball up. If the whistle hadn't gone, that's got to be a penalty. And I think the whistle must have gone. Now, this is chapter 2 of Shannon versus Zender. Well, whatever there was, it was accidental on the part of Mick Shannon. Now Shannon. Penalty, surely. Not given. Well, that looked a 100% certain penalty to me, that one. Well, judge for yourself now. I would have said pen. Watson. Mariner. Francis. Again, he's got past Marg. And the long cross comes in towards Mick Shannon. And for Kennedy, goal! 3-0. 20 minutes of the second half, and a few smiles now about England. And not before time. And again, it's Trevor Francis who has run his full back into the ground. Shannon up, the ball coming to Kennedy, and what about that for a nice placement just inside the post. Here's the architect. Lovely long cross. Shannon up. And Kennedy rifling it in. A few anxious faces now in that Luxembourg defence as Hill takes another corner for England. Driven much deeper that time. And it's across the line. Well, Shannon's the man who's claiming it. But whoever got it is number 4. Shannon the scorer. Hill's corner. Bullet header there from Mick Shannon. Did it cross the line? Yes, it crossed the line before Mariner could get in any case. Getting in well there, Shannon. And scoring a vital 4th goal for England. Trevor Francis getting to the byline again. A good cross there, just a fraction too high. Keegan turning it in. Shannon trying to make something of it. Cherry over the top. Paul Mariner so very, very close to his first goal for England. Again, Francis got beautifully to that byline. Mariner just couldn't quite get to it. Keegan turned it back. Shannon couldn't turn it in. And Cherry in the end turned it over. Keegan wanting it and getting it. Love to see Keegan push right forward in these last 10 minutes or so. Kennedy's up there. Oh, Cherry hadn't quite got the control to make the most of that one. Kennedy again, sweeping it wide this time for Shannon. Now will he take him on? No? Yes, he will. Trying to get to that byline again. Does so beautifully, and Hill's header into the side netting. Now, has he given a penalty? He's given the penalty for the foul on Shannon. Well, that was a surprising decision. It certainly surprised Luxembourg, and you can see Marg there. Can't believe it. But that ball is on the spot, even though a Luxembourg player has kicked it off the spot. And 10 minutes remain, and there's a lovely chance now for England to go 5-0 into the lead. So it's Shannon who's going to take it. Now, Shannon against Zender. Now, will it be 5 for England? It's down to Mick Shannon, and it is 5. The arms go whirling. Don Revie down there at the centre line, calling somebody to him, as Shannon now takes this penalty again. Slotted beautifully there to make it 5-0. Don Revie, in fact, having a word here with Kevin Keegan. Now for Watson. Oh, nicely ball played there for Watson. Hill, the cheeky little one. Oh, and he went across the top of the crossbar. Tried a cunning little piece of skill there after a beautiful ball from Dave Watson. Just look at this ball from Watson. Played superbly there for Gordon Hill. Just a little too cheeky, if that can be a fault. Kennedy. Played in again for Shannon. Mond there attacking Shannon. Free kick. It wasn't Mond, it was Dresch, and Dresch gets the yellow card. Well, there was a third earlier in the game. The other yellow card that had been given had also gone to Dresch. Oh, it's a red card, so it must have been a yellow card that he had earlier. And 2 yellows, that equals 1 red, and Gilbert Dresch is sent off. Well, I must say I feel a little sorry for him. They were 2 fairly innocuous. He's saying 2 yellow cards, he's got to go off. I've already given him 1 yellow card. The referee explaining there to the Luxembourg defenders. Well, he's a very unlucky young player. Don't think Ray Clements has had a shot to save in the second half. But here's Brown, stopped by Watson. Throw to Luxembourg. Keegan there this time. Back now to Hughes. Building up slowly, laboriously. The referee is about to blow the final whistle, though. And there it goes. England have beaten Luxembourg by 5-0. 2 of them to Mick Shannon, 1 to Kevin Keegan, 1 to Trevor Francis, and 1 to Ray Kennedy.
Good evening from Wembley. And tonight's the night we have to look for a footballing miracle. We're looking for 3 or 4 goals against the Italian side to give this England team just a glimmer of a chance of qualifying for those finals in Argentina next summer. And a glance at the group table shows how formidable that task is. England and Italy are level on points in the second column there, but the Italians have a vastly better goal difference. And you must remember that only 1 team qualifies, Italy still with a home game to come against Luxembourg. Well, with me here in the studio are Jack Charlton and Alan Mullery, both former England internationals themselves. Jack, very briefly, if I can come to you first of all, are you a man who believes in miracles?
Not really against the Italians. I think it's going to be a very tough game, but I think England will win, probably by 1, maybe 2.
Alan Mullery, what's your view on it?
I think what I'm looking for, Brian, really tonight is pride of wearing an England shirt, I believe. I think we're going to win, and I think pride will show out tonight. It's a time to see us with a lot of pride.
3 new caps in it, as I say. Steve Coppell, the number 8. Bob Latchford in tremendous form with Everton with 12 goals this season. And Peter Barnes, the number 11. And a back four, really, that is, or a defence that has played well over the last few games. They've conceded only 5 in the last 9 internationals. But the Italians have the one thing that England do not have at the moment, and that is a settled side. This, in fact, is their side coming up here now, that played a 2-1 defeat against West Germany, the world champions, and then thundered 6 against the Finns in such a vital World Cup qualifying game. They really have a nice settled side. Roberto Bettiger, one of the Juventus men, and there are 9 of that team who come either from Juventus or Torino. And the Italian fans raise their voices already as a nice passing movement develops. Here's Graziani. Gentile again. Back for Graziani. And Dave Watson really didn't get that away. Bettiger a half slip. And now Antonioni. Good challenge though. That time by Dave Watson. And here's Trevor Brooking, with a crowd giving him all he's got. Benetti is after him. And now here's Kevin Keegan. Brooking. Now we need a good early start, and we very nearly, as Barnes came rifling in there, it was taken off his toes. And now a throw, the ball coming off Steve Coppell. Ray Wilkins. First appearance for England was against the Italians in New York, and he played superbly that night when England won 3-2. Brooking, Wilkins, Brooking. Neil wanting a bit of the action wide, but Brooking curling that in again towards Kevin Keegan! The England goal that we wanted, and Keegan is the scorer! Well, that is the start. Keegan, the scorer, beautifully taken with his head, outwitting the Italians in defence. What a cross by Brooking! What a sight for England, beyond Dino's off 1-0. Bill Neal, now Dave Watson. Neal again. Coppell. Now get it over. Oh my word, it was just wide there from number 11, Peter Barnes. Well, the two wingmen combined well there. Coppell getting that across beautifully, and Barnes getting there before anybody else, but forced to put it wide. There's Coppell. Got Phil Neal wide on this touchline. Here he is. Now, will the cross go in this time? Took a deflection! Oh my goodness, Barnes! Oh, how did he miss it? Well, that really could be the turning point of so much. There were 3 men there who might have scored. In the end, none of them did. The deflection there unsettled the Italians. The header there didn't go in. Latchford couldn't touch it. Barnes, I thought, was going to get it in, but failed. Barnes coming off his man on that occasion, looking for the ball, which is a good sign, but Hughes was going on. Here's Keegan. Now Peter Barnes, bit of space now. Will he take on Gentile? Yes, he has. He's passed him. He's passed another. He's passed another. Beautiful by Barnes. Oh, and he hit it straight at Soft. That was much more like it from Peter Barnes, and I'm sure he's going to feel a lot happier after that. Watson, touch for Cherry. Neal, central position there. Hughes. Little chip in again towards Bob Latchford. No foul, Keegan's after it. Oh, my word, that was an elbow in the face by Tardelli. He's got to go off for that, surely. Tardelli clearly punched Keegan in the face with his elbow. Well, what's going to happen here? Now, can we see it from this angle? It looks a little as though it might not be the right angle. But as they went for the ball, now what's going to happen? Well, I think nothing has happened. But Keegan is out. And that's what did it. Phil Neal. Little chip in for Keegan. Now, what sort of punishment's he going to get this time from Tardelli? Got him worried. He's got him worried. And
and we've got a corner. Oh, Keegan responding now. Now, he shouldn't do that. Fekete getting in there. Yellow card. Well, that... In the first place, Keegan shouldn't have done it. But certainly if Tardelli got off scot-free for what he did, and look at Tardelli smiling at Keegan. It's a free kick for England. Brooking with it. Latchford there. Oh, and Watson almost got in. But the linesman had his flag up on this side of the field. Dave Watson would have been offside.
But Latchford should have scored. I don't think he realised how much time he had there. And in fact, if he had taken his time, he would have planted that in the back of the net. And I've seen Bob do that so many times before that I couldn't understand him missing that one. That was the best chance of the game.
And that's what he's in the side for, his ability in the air as much as anything. I think it might well be Bob Latchford who's coming off, number 9. Brooking. Oh, knocked over the top by Zoff from Watson. Well, what a game he's having. Done everything right at the back and very nearly got the second goal that mattered. Caught that well on the volley, and Zoff, superb push away. Now Koppel again. Keegan's gone wide on the right-hand side. And Wilkins has gone wide for him as well. A little flick through there now for Brooking. That's number 2 for England by Trevor Brooking. Well, Keegan has scored one, and he's made one, and England are 2 ahead. And everywhere on that field in white shirts, there are smiles to go with them. What a lovely little pass, and Brooking taking it so coolly. 2-0. Look at this ball now from Keegan. That's the one that made it, and all it required after that was Brooking's coolness, and he had plenty of that to put it under Zoff. Here's Koppel. In the last minute of the game now, plus injury time. Francis. Having trouble keeping his feet, Trevor Francis, since he came on. Neil playing it back for Watson. So little time left. And in fact, the final whistle has gone. He hasn't played 1 second of injury time, would you believe? Well, well, well. And England have won by 2-0. Kevin Keegan, the scorer of the first goal in the first half. Trevor Brooking adding a second in the second half, meaning that Italy need to beat Luxembourg by a solitary goal in Rome to qualify for the World Cup. But a good performance by England tonight.
Just time to look at a few pointers in that result. Alan, you were asking for a bit more pride to be shown in the England shirt. Do you see it here?
I think so, Jerry, yes. Yeah. I would think it's probably England's best performance in the whole of the qualifying group, really. That's the best that I've seen them play.
Jack, that second goal put them on their way again after they looked as if they were struggling a bit.
Yeah, we lost our way just a little bit, mainly because the Italians dropped someone a little bit deeper in the midfield in defence and pushed the full-backs a little bit tighter on the wingers and wouldn't let us play the ball wide.
Let's have a look at that second goal, can we, Jack? There were a couple of good pointers there. Good work by Kevin Keegan of all sorts.
It's part of the game, actually, that the Italians are much stronger than us. That Butch Wilkins ran with the ball, played it up to Kevin, and Kevin found enough room to play a ball through to probably the best sneaker in the game, who was Trevor Brooking, and he gets into those positions better than anyone I know.
What made the goal, though, was the run of Butch Wilkins, because he dragged the centre-half out, you know. And he made up his mind to go, and the centre-half went to go, and he just slipped it through to Brooking in the net there.
He doesn't get too many of these, though.
He doesn't, no. It's nice to see Trevor score the goal. He took it very well, didn't he? Very cool and calm.
But the fullback was totally at fault on the ball played through. He had gone into a covering
on this
position.
One, you can see the Wilkins run, actually, and you'll see the centre-half. See the centre-half just about to come out, and he just slots it past him. There's Trevor waiting there.
Yeah, enjoy that first
Took it very well.
Fekete put his arm up in the air as if to say he's offside, you know, and he should have been offside really, because the fullback had gone round the back and should never have been in that position, because you could see where the only place Kevin could play the ball.
Well, it would have been the first offside that the Italians had played, I should think.
What about Dave Watson?
Well, Dave Watson, I mean, did his usual very, very good job. He does it very, very well. Probably our best defender, Dave Watson, tonight, easily. Not so much the two fullbacks didn't have a great deal to do, and Emlyn Hughes didn't have a great deal to do.
This is David.
Super shot, wasn't it? For a centre-half, what a volley. If it had been half a yard wide of him, I think he'd have scored there.
If he had scored there, it would have been justice, because for me, Dave Watson was by far the best England player, the most effective. I think I saw him in the first half give one ball away, and in the second half, he made a tackle that he didn't win. But that's his sole contribution on the bad side, and all the good things he did, tremendous.
Well, David Watson throughout all the matches has been this consistency, isn't he? He's very good at this.
So that's it. A 2-0 victory for England tonight. Realistically, it means that England, I think, will not qualify, and the Italians will. They only have to beat Luxembourg by a solitary goal in that game that remains in Rome next month. But the best England performance for 2 years. Some of our pride has come back to the game. We hope you've enjoyed it, and from all of us here, it's good night.
Watson, commanding header. And going all the way for Keegan. That might catch the Hungarians out. Played there for Barnes. Oh, and it's a goal! What an amazing goal. The most incredible header there by Dave Watson, going all of 35 yards, catching the Hungarians out. Keegan is here. Francis is calling for it, but it comes to Peter Barnes, who in fact mishits it, and it's in the back of the net. 10 minutes gone, England up. From behind the goal, Keegan's little pass. To Peter Barnes, and side-footing it just in. Mills. Played in for Brooking, nicked in there for Keegan. He tried to hit it all in one go, completely miskicked. Wilkins, and look who it's coming to now. Watson again with that header, and Francis is right in there. He couldn't quite turn it back, but there's a lot of venom about this England attack tonight. And Francis looking as good in an England shirt, I think, as I've seen him. And Watson absolutely everywhere. There's Watson with the header, and Francis coming in again so quickly, so sharp, and not quite getting it back. Niliashi. Stopped again by Watson. Torok, the fullback. Azekash, the captain. Torok. This is a good position for Hungary. Played back again. Oh, and missed completely, but will Tuk be able to line it up? Yes, but he hits it straight at Koppel, and here's Brooking. Well, a pity the advantage wasn't played there, but at least the referee is allowing free kicks to be taken quickly, if not exactly from the right place. What a good break by Mills, just onside. Played across the face of the goal, and just wide by Trevor Francis. What a break by Mills, though, and how well, and that's the end of the break, mind you. It was much earlier on that was the better part of it, and Francis coming in there to head it wide of the post. Keegan, oh, nice touch, and it's left Brooking in the clear. Barnes is in danger of going offside, but Brooking going all the way and forcing another save out of Guida. Brilliant attacking play again by England. There's a lovely touch, and on for Brooking. And his shot being well smothered by Guida. This is Tote. Stopped by Watson. Keegan in there, it's running for Brooking. Francis wants it, and Barnes has got it. Taking on Torok. Sweeping past him beautifully there. What a good cross towards Keegan. And they've not got it away yet. Now they've got it safe. And he's given a penalty. Well, there's the cross coming in. It must have been handball there by Tote. That's the only solution I can give, but it's a penalty that England have got, and Phil Neal is the man with the responsibility of taking it, and with a chance with 32 minutes gone to put England 2 into the lead. 2-0. Ice cool penalty taking again, perfection itself, even though the keeper moved by Phil Neal. Pinter. Hungarians have pushed 1 or 2 in there. Niliashi beaten in the air by Watson. Francis playing it on. Keegan's onside. 1 against 1. Can Keegan beat the keeper? Oh no, he can't, but it's a free kick. A tremendous break by Keegan and a free kick for England just outside the Hungarian penalty area. The Hungarian keeper coming outside his area. That's why he was penalised. The free kick is about to be taken. Keegan's on his way. And Guidar coming out to concede this free kick. Brooking with it. Watson on the far side. Headed in again towards Francis. 3-0. And Trevor Francis has delivered the goods. And England are 3 into the lead. Dave Watson a hand in it again. And Trevor Francis ahead. And England 3 to the good. Brookings' free kick. That's 2 goals Dave Watson has made. And Trevor Francis' second goal in 11 caps for England.
Iliashi, slipping Koppel. Tarokchik. Iliashi. It might come from Tarokchik yet, but Mills is there. Sapo's there. Tarokchik playing it across the goal again. And a beautiful goal for Hungary. Scored by Nagy. Taken beautifully. Yes, Tony Curry warming up. Oh, what a great save by Shilton. Well, they're really beginning to fire in a few shots now, the Hungarians. And that one from Tarokchik could so easily have been another goal. And now it's Barnes with the throw. That was a bad one, though. Now, can Francis make something of it? Another England throw. Maybe Barnes will produce a better one this time. Brooking knocking it on for Curry, who can hit one. Oh, and a goal by Tony Curry! Well, not as spectacular as his one against Wales at Ninian Park. But a good one for all that, and indeed the keeper, I think we'll see, got his hands to it. As Curry delighted to whack that one in. Yes, Guidar just got his hand to it, but he couldn't stop it. There was plenty of venom in that shot from Tony Curry. See it again. England 4-1 into the lead.
On the overall, we were very pleased. It's been a fine fortnight. We've enjoyed it. We've done well. We want to do better, and we think we can do better. And it's essential we do better because we're going to meet better sides than Hungary.
Yeah, you must be very pleased. I mean, you've scored 9 goals now in winning those last 4 matches. You must be pleased to see Keegan back.
Well, Kevin's always nice to have Keegan back. He's an outstanding world-class player, in my opinion. And it's a great pity that the World Cup isn't going to be graced by his presence this year in Argentina. Not the fact that England's not there, but the fact that a player like Kevin Keegan isn't there, because there's a great shortage of world-class players, I think, lacking in this present World Cup. And somebody like Keegan, and Dalglish is going to be an outstanding player, and Kevin's a similar player to Kenny Dalglish.